Good day, my friend. Walter here. It's getting on 6 o'clock in the evening. We know the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, so you can tell I live east of town by this video. Got to run over here to the dump the trash. Thought I'd take a minute and do just a little bit of a vlog. I mentioned the other day how my back had been hurting. I went to the doctor and they gave me some kind of muscle relaxer. It helps a little bit. Basically the best thing I can do is just rest for a couple of days, which is what I've been doing. And the doctor said she thought it was muscle related, definitely not a kidney problem, which was a relief to me because James had some kidney problems in the last week or two. And finally had to go today to get his kidney stones zapped out, or whatever they do to get rid of them with sound waves or whatever. So he'll be feeling better, I'm sure. But mine turned out to be just muscle related pain. I wouldn't rule out a crack in my rib or something. Feels just like somebody's poking me with a sharp stick. I've had some serious falls in my lifetime, and I've had this feeling in my back ribs before. I could have agitated an old injury. But I'm like anything else, I'm going to survive. Alright, my friends, I'm back from the dump. I was making a video, a vlog, and I talked most of the way back from the dump, only to find out my camera wasn't recording. There's nothing more aggravating than to be trying to make a video and it's not even recording. You wasted 20 minutes talking to yourself. Come out here to get a glimpse of this. The sunset. I might be able to put this grass cutting off till a little bit later in the week. On the way back I passed looked like it might have been a railroad panel truck by the road. Looked like it was broke down, but the guy seemed to have everything pretty well under control, so I didn't stop. But it reminded me of some of the many times that I broke down out on the road. From 1983 till I retired from the railroad in 2003. Yeah, I think it was 83. That's the year that I moved down here and took this Griffin job and finished out my career here in Griffin, Georgia, traveling around the state of Georgia, doing on the road repairs, and I logged hundreds of thousands of miles in various railroad trucks. I wore out several trucks. And many of the time I was broke down out beside the road. And I got to talking about defensive driving. And on the first day of the job that I came down here, the fellow that had this job before me was showing me around. We were on our way to Carrollton. We got in a head-on collision with a big LTD, and the wreck was severe enough that it put the motor right up into the front seat with us. It didn't do her car much justice either. Nobody was killed. The lady was hurt pretty good. We never went to court over it, even though it was our fault. So I'm pretty sure the railroad probably settled with them out of court. But that was the last time I let anybody drive me anywhere. From then on, I decided I would do my own driving. And over the years, like I say, I logged hundreds of thousands of miles. And I like to think I drove defensively. If you don't practice defensive driving, the odds are much greater that eventually you'll be in a wreck. I had more than one argument with my wife not accusing her of not driving defensively, and she gets defensive about it. I don't think that some people think about defensive driving. If you drive up to an intersection, you see something going on, you try to anticipate what might happen. Somebody might pull out in front of you. Always be ready. And by that extra little bit of caution, sometimes you can prevent yourself from being in a crash. Now, I had a couple of little fender benders. I backed into somebody one time. Had a guy clip me one time changing lanes. But I never was in another really serious accident. And more than once I saved myself from being in an accident by just being overly cautious. I got to where I wouldn't even listen to the radio or stereo in the truck because I like to hear what's going on. But it kind of aggravated me to make all the video and not being able to remember what all I had talked about. Now here's that well that's got to be cleaned up. At one time I had a building here, and it was mounted up off the ground on these bricks I got here. So I need to clean all this up to build my well house here. I still need to pull the pump out of the well. It ain't that easy to pull out. It's attached to a 60 or 70 foot hose down in the water that's full of water. But I got to get that lifted out. I want to clean all that mess up, build my well structure around here, and maybe put like a row of rocks and some river gravel or something, maybe a little walkway going up towards the house. Make it look like a wishing well. I think that would come out real nice. In the meantime, I'll clean up this eyesore out here. Between this eyesore and that swimming pool over there, it might take me 2 years to get that swimming pool filled up. I still got to get the liner took out of it. But I'll just do what little projects I can, when I feel like it. I got all kind of bushes and trees around here need to be cut down, and I'll get to it. We're definitely going to have a wood chipping demonstration pretty soon. Not a whole lot of action in my vlog today. A whole lot of talking maybe. Here's a project I never got around to. I brought this home from the railroad years ago. It's an old battery box. The signal maintainer didn't want it anymore, and I took it. Mounted, I brought the cement post home and everything. And what I was going to make out of it was a smoker, and I still could. Put a burner out here with like a grill to burn the wood. Have the smoke go in here, come out up here somewhere. That would make one huge smoker. I just never got around to it. But look at all these limbs I got to get cut. Can't even walk by without hitting your head. This one limb here, I'm going to have to cut it all the way up to the tree trunk. I can get some firewood out of that, even though I don't have a fireplace. That's another thing I wish I had done when I built this house, was install a fireplace. But the extra bit of material it took to pour the foundation and stuff, I was cutting corners financially when I built this house. Didn't have the money for it. It would have been nice to do this whole foundation with a bigger porch. Anyway, that's all my vlog today. I appreciate you listening to my carry on. It's Pwalpar signing off.